NBA games are usually pretty fun anyway, but having a good team of commentators just makes everything far better. While there are some commentators such as Mike Breen who are known for being amazing at all times, others aren't on the same level as him. So in this video, we're going to talk about ESPN's Mark Jones blunder on Christmas Day plus some more. Let's get right into it.
But first, a reminder about our brand new giveaway. We're giving away a PS5 with a copy of NBA 2K22 and Madden 22. All you have to do is watch the full video, leave a like, comment the keyword hidden in the video, and make sure you're subscribed. It's that simple.
First up, what mistake Jones make? While Larry Bird was probably enjoying his holiday weekend somewhere out there, Mark accidentally buried the legend alive on national television. We know that sounds crazy, but allow us to explain. Jones and Doris Burke were on call for the ESPN broadcast of the Bucks vs. Celtics matchup. As they were welcoming viewers to the broadcast before tip-off, Burke was pointing out that Jason Tatum's on pace to become the first Celtic to average 30 points per game for the entire season. This is insanely impressive because the Celtics have been home to some of the greatest players in NBA history, such as Paul Pierce, John Havlicek, Bob Cousy, and more. Plus, as Mark said, not even the late great Larry Bird did that, as his career high was 29.9. Though Jones quickly realized his mistake, because when he referred to the athlete as the late, he took an awkward pause before saying the great Larry Bird. Now, Larry may fall into the great category, but thankfully, he's not part of the late one yet. While we expect announcers representing ESPN to be the cream of the crop, it's important to remember that calling a basketball game live on television can be pretty tough. There's so much going on at once, and commentators have to narrate what's going on while keeping facts and stats straight for multiple hours, so there are bound to be some mistakes. Next up, how did people react to the blunder? Since Mark said that before the game even started, his slip-up largely went under the radar, though a few Twitter accounts spotted the mistake and posted tweets to express their confusion. But once Awful Announcing pointed out the mistake a couple of days later, more people found out about it, and replies to their tweet only had bad things to say about Jones. One user remarked that Mark's like a little brother who tries to impress people, but in reality he's just a pain who everyone wishes would leave. Another tweeted that it makes sense he made the blunder since he's a certified clown, while one user just straight up called him beyond awful. That's not all. One person said that the commentator shouldn't even broadcast a high school game. Moving on, let's look at some of his best moments. As they say, you should never let one mistake define you, plus Mark Jones is actually a pretty entertaining commentator who makes good calls as well. First of all, we'd like to say that we love it when he says butter following a smooth jumper or three-pointer from NBA players. It's his signature phrase, like Mike Breen's bang call. And of course, we can't forget about his terrific work towards the end of the Sixers and Thunder game back in 2019, when Butler stole the ball and gave Philly the lead. He followed that up with an even better call when Paul George hit a three to give OKC the lead and yelled, "My George, Paul on the job." He also has a bit of a humorous side, which he showed off in the Western Conference first round in 2020. The Nuggets and the Jazz were making stupid plays, which are rare to see in the NBA, so Jones remarked it looked like LA Fitness at 3 o'clock. Now let's rank Larry Bird's most savage trash talk moments. Starting off, we have the torture chamber at number 10. When Larry was out on the court, he didn't care about anyone or anything except himself, and he never shied away from an opportunity to let his opponents know he was better than them. In fact, one of Bird's former teammates, Danny Ainge, recalled that Bird would tell him or Dennis Johnson to pass him the ball because he's had the guys who were guarding him in the torture chamber. But here's the best part. Larry Legend would always make sure to make the comment while his opponent was right there listening to him say it. Next up, we have his exchange with Chuck Person at 9. Before Boston and Indiana's matchup on the 26th of December 1990, Person, who went by the nickname of Rifleman, said he was about to go bird hunting. When the hick from French Lick found out about Chuck's comment, he said he had a present for the Rifleman and he didn't waste any time in delivering it. During the game, Bird launched a shot from downtown right in front of Person, who was sitting on the bench. Larry turned to him while the ball was still in the air and growled, "Merry Christmas," as the shot went in. Moving on, we have his exchange with Dominique Wilkins at 8. When Neek was a rookie, he tried to greet Bird before his Hawks matched up against the Celtics. Larry refused to shake his hand and looked at him stone-faced. Then, once they were getting ready for tip-off, the three-time champ told Wilkins that he didn't belong in the league. When Dominique was covering him, Bird said that he had no idea why the Rook was guarding him since he wasn't good enough, and followed that up with a 3 in Wilkins' face. Then Bird told the rookie that his team made a mistake by having him guard a guy like himself, and sure enough, he sank another 3. Then Dominique finally got some revenge, but only for Larry to get the last laugh, as he told the rookie that he was still gonna go for 40 and he was just 1 point shy of that to end the game. At number 7, we have him roasting Xavier McDaniel. Many remember Xavier's run-in with MJ, but he also had one with Bird, and obviously it didn't end well for him. Larry Legend told the X-Man where exactly he'd get the ball and added that he was gonna shoot it right in his face. Once Bird received the ball, he went straight to the spot he told McDaniel about and did exactly what he said he'd do. And we all know the three-time champ loved adding insult to injury, so while Bird was running back on defense, he apologized to Xavier for leaving 2 seconds on the shot clock. Coming up, we have his near quadruple double at number 6. On February 18, 1985, the Hick from French Lick put on a show as he posted 30 points, 12 rebounds, and 10 assists in just 3 quarters. Oh, and he also had 9 steals, but since Boston was up 90-66, he sat out the entire fourth quarter and the Celtics won by 16. When reporters asked Larry if he wanted to play in the final period to get the quadruple double, he simply said, "What for? I already did enough damage to them." Yeah, this guy was on another level. Following that, we have Larry owning the Mavericks bench at 5. Bird had a thing for telling his opponents what he was going to do and then actually doing that. Not only did he do this with McDaniels, but he also did this with the entire Mavs bench once. He told them where he was going to stand and continued that he wouldn't move. Following that, Larry Legend said that once his teammate passed him the ball, the next sound they'd hear would be the ball hitting the bottom of the net. Sure enough, that's exactly what happened. And the cherry on top was that Larry even winked at the Dallas bench after pulling it off. When we say this dude's confidence was through the roof, we mean it. Now for number 4, we have him roasting Craig Hodges. When Hodges won the 1990 three-point contest, one reporter asked him if his victory could be given much credit since Bird didn't participate in that year's competition. After all, the Hick from French Lick had won 3 contests in a row. Craig told the reporter that Larry knows where to find him, but we're sure Hodges regrets making that comment because when it was passed on to Bird, he said the only place Craig can be found is at the end of the Chicago bench, talking about having no chill. Next up, we have him tormenting Dennis Rodman at number 3. Rodman will be remembered as one of the greatest defenders of all time, but when he was early in his career, even he couldn't handle the small forward. In one particular meeting, Bird scored 4 baskets in a row on Dennis's head. Then he asked Rodman's coach, Chuck Daly, if anyone was guarding him, implying that Dennis defending him was equal to no one guarding him at all. Following that, he told Daly that he better have someone guard him or else he'd go for 60. Even when Dennis was all over Bird, he'd keep saying he was open, acting like Rodman wasn't even there. Sheesh. Moving on, we have the 1988 three-point contest at number 2. The 3-time champ arrived in Chicago Stadium in 1988 to defend his consecutive three-point titles. When he made his way to the locker room, he looked around at his competitors and asked which one of them was going to come in second. As always, not only did Bird talk the talk, but he also walked the walk, as he won the contest for the 3rd straight year. Considering how embarrassing it would have been if this, much like his other predictions, didn't go as planned, we just find it unreal how he always backed up his trash talk so well. Finally, we have his 60-point outing against Atlanta at 1. Larry went God mode on the 12th of March 1985, and as recalled by Doc Rivers, he was up to his old tricks of calling shots and asking his opponents questions like, "Where you want this one from?" But that wasn't the end of it. When he was coming down the court on the 4th, he said, "In the trainer's lap," meaning that it was going to be a deep 3. He asked the Hawks players who wanted it before shooting a rainbow 3. Reggie Brown bumped into him, the shot went in, and Larry Legend actually ended up in the Hawks trainer's lap. It was a moment that just further solidified him as one of the greatest to ever play the game. That's a wrap for this video. How did you guys react when you found out about Mark's blunder? Let us know in the comments below. As always, remember to give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this, and we will see you at the next one.